What's up guys, Qehzy here, bringing you guys another tutorial, and this is my first video in 2.5 months, so it's been a while since I've been doing this, but I had soccer season and school and all that stuff, so I didn't have much time to do any of this, but I'm going to be showing you guys how to make Call of Duty Advanced Warfare thumbnails. So this is what basically the finished product's going to look like. It's pretty cool, it's bright, it catches the eye. Which is what you want in a thumbnail, and of course it gives you the point of what the video is. So Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and then you'd put your like title here, so like top 5 plays or something, or like commentary, sniper. I don't know. I haven't been watching Call of Duty videos in like 2 months, so I don't know what the videos are, and I can't even think. But let's get into it. So first of all, you want to open Photoshop, and you want to go to File, New. And you can go 1280 by 720 or 1920 by 1080, which is what I'm gonna do because I like it big, if you know what I'm saying. And then I'm just gonna double click on this background to unlock it, and I'm gonna double click on it again to name it solid. There we go. And then for your video, you want to take a screenshot of the some part in the video that you want as like the main thing. You won't actually really see it, but I mean, you just gotta pick a cool spot, I guess. So I'm just gonna use a screenshot I got off the internet because I don't have any Call of Duty Advanced Warfare recorded, because I hardly play it, and I'm on 360, so it's not very good quality. But anyway, you want to drag that on, and then you want to go down to these half circle things, and you want to go to curves, and you want to go down a little bit and drag a point of that line down. And then you want to go to the top and drag a point of that line to the top, which is now this cool little curve. You don't want it to be too big, just a little subtle, just to create some contrast like that. Okay, and then you want to go find the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare logo. I have it saved on my desktop right here, and I'm just gonna put it in the top left corner. You want to put it in either the top left, top right, or bottom left corner, because in the bottom right there will be a timestamp, or whatever you want to call it, that shows the time or the length of the video, and that will cover up anything down here. So this area is not very important, so you want to have the logo anywhere else. I'm going to right click and rasterize that layer, and then I'm also going to do Control I to make it white instead of black, because it's like a darker background here and I need it to stand out. And then I'm going to create a new layer above that, right click, create clipping mask, and I'm going to go to my rectangle marquee tool, and I'm just going to select the Advanced Warfare part, which is the colored part, and I'm going to go to the paint bucket. If your paint bucket's not there, you just click and hold at gradient tool and go to paint bucket tool, and then you want to just pick any color. I'm just going to go with red for now, and then Control D to unselect, and there we go. That's just the colored part of the logo. You just forget about that for now. Now we want to go to our text tool, so select that, and I'm going to just go down here and select white instead of the red, and I'm also going to make sure I have my rulers on, so if you don't, do Control R, so they pop up here, and you want to go to the left side and click the ruler, drag, and find the middle. To know where the middle is, the ruler will automatically click into place, so like as you're going by, you'll see it just kind of head towards a place and just stop there, and that's where the center is. Once you do that, you want to get your text tool and click somewhere on that line, preferably in like the middle, like that. And then I'm just going to type Advanced Warfare, and this is really big, so I'm going to go down to like 160. That's about a good size. Alright, and then I'm going to do Control H to hide the ruler or guide, and I'm going to go to my layer styles pack. If you are interested in buying this, it's pretty cheap. I believe it's like $2 in my store. Yeah, it is $2 in my store. So if you want to use these or use this exact layer style, you can go ahead and buy it. If you don't, I'll just show you, or I'll tell you a simple way to do it. So I'm going to go right click, copy layer style, go back to this, right click, paste layer style. There we go. If you just want a simpler version, all you need to do really is go to gradient overlay, do a light gray to white, and you want to do an inner glow of black, just a little bit, about size 8, opacity 18, not that noticeable. Make sure you have a little bit of a drop shadow, and then you have to have a stroke that's like a gradient. That's some color. It can be any color you want. It doesn't really matter. And that's about it. Okay, so once we have that text, I'm going to do a Control J on that layer so it duplicates it, and I'm just going to hold Shift, click, and drag upwards about there so it overlaps a little bit. So like right there, and I'm going to drag that layer underneath, and I'm just going to double click on the text box, and I'm going to type in, let's say we're doing this for a top 5 plays video, so top 5, and then I'm going to make this size a lot bigger, so about 350, there we go. And I'm going to have a little bit of overlap, as you can see, which will help with an effect later. And then I'm going to duplicate this top 5, hold Shift again and drag down, again have a little bit of overlap, go back to the text tool and make this say plays. Alright, and then I'm going to go back to my layer styles, and then I'm going to go to the one called green lines, copy that layer style and go and paste it onto these two. And then in this case of this layer style, it's not a full 100% opacity thing, like you can see through it. So I'm just going to duplicate it so it makes it thicker and brighter. And if you're, again, you don't want to buy my layer styles pack, you can simply copy this layer style, but instead of a gray to a white gradient, change it from like a dark green or whatever color you want to a lighter green or whatever color you want. Just that'll be simple. And then keep the stroke the same color as the gradient. So if you have like a dark green to a light green, make sure the stroke's an even darker green, or whatever color you want to use. Green is just an example. And you can do whatever color you want, because at the in the next step or two, I'm going to be showing you guys how to change the color to just match everything. So I like this. I like how this is positioned and everything. And actually, I'm going to move it down slightly, so I actually just lied. So I'm going to select everything and just use my arrow keys to go down a little bit. And I'm going to select all the text and the CoD logo, and I'm going to do a Control G to put them in a group. And then I'm going to create a gradient map, so back to the half circle thing and then gradient map. I'm going to go to hue on my blending, and then I'm going to right click the gradient map and do create clip masking. And then I'm going to pick a color I want. So I think this blue looks pretty good, yeah. So I'm going to go with just a black to a blue. The black, obviously the color won't change to black, it'll just be the blue. So you can do black to whatever color you want. And if you notice this advanced warfare thing here, it looks like a really gross blue, like it's dark and kind of grayish blue, which we don't want. We want bright, eye-catching blue. So I'm going to go where we had the red clipping mask on the logo, and I'm going to go Control U on that layer. I'm going to change the color of it to a color that will in turn make it brighter, like that. There we go. So I moved it plus 27, and there we go. A little bit brighter. And I'm actually going to double click on that CoD logo layer, and I'm going to add a drop shadow. I'm going to put the distance on 0 and just increase the size, and then put the opacity down to about 50, and there we go. That'll work. And now what I'm going to do is select all of the text, and you got to make sure your text is exactly how you want it. And if you're going to make this into a permanent template, you want to duplicate all these, so Control J, duplicate them. But what I'm going to do is, actually, if I could, whatever, okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is select them all, if this wants to work. There we go. I'm going to right click and, where is it at? Rasterize type, and this will make it no longer editable, so you can't change the text now of what it says, like this is finalized. And then I'm gonna right click and merge layers, so now everything is merged. This is just one layer, and now we're gonna make this really pop. If you like this better, you can only stick with this, but I like doing a cool 3D look, so I'm gonna go to 3D, new 3D extrusion from selected layer, and this only works in, I believe, CS6 or higher. I believe this is not in CS5 or below Photoshop. So hopefully this will go. If you have a slower computer, this might take a little bit or might not work. If so, I'm sorry, but if your computer works and it allows you to do this, is really cool. Okay, and it'll ask you if you want to go to a 3D workspace. I usually just click no, because the way it pops up anyway is how I want it. So hopefully this effect will go soon. Maybe not, maybe it doesn't want to go. Alright, and when that finally goes through, I'm just gonna hide that, and then I'm gonna right click on that layer and rasterize 3D, and I just leave it in its standard view. Don't really change anything because this looks fine, although the shadows do kind of get annoying. So if these, I don't know if you can see them, these shadows here sometimes get in the way of things. So if you don't like those, you can always just go to the eraser tool and erase them if you don't want them. But I'm just gonna leave mine here because they shouldn't be that big of a deal. And I'm gonna go ahead and again I'm gonna hide this group. I'm gonna make sure I'm selected on the group still. I'm gonna go back to this half circle thing and go to hue and saturation, and that should automatically create a it should automatically create a clipping mask of that hue and saturation layer. And I'm gonna turn up the saturation just a bit, just to make it a bit brighter. So I did a +31. You can do whatever you want. And then this is pretty simple at this point. You can always stick with this if you want, if this is good enough for you. But I'm gonna go ahead and go to the layer of our clip, so that layer, and I'm gonna create a new layer, and I'm gonna go to my brush tool, and I'm gonna go ahead to the default brush if this ever wants to load. This has been a slow Photoshop day for me. This is really frustrating. Hopefully this will work a little quicker, or nah. Alright, there we go. And let's see, what size should we go with? I'm just gonna kind of go in the middle. I'm gonna use the bracket keys to kind of get a size, so like that. And I'm gonna select a color, and I'm just gonna go with the bright blue, cyan-y looking color. Put that there, boom. Or maybe not. Maybe just Photoshop just doesn't like me today. I don't know what it is. Really annoying though. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna just see if soft light looks a little better. So that looks pretty cool. You can always play around with these layers. Maybe normal looks cool too. Not sure what I did over here. I think I went with normal. Let's see. Maybe lighten. Not sure. Normal. I stuck with normal. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with normal here just to be consistent. And again, you could stop here if you want, but you can also change the color of this if you want. So if you want like 2 separate colors, so green, like orange, I don't know, purple, that looks pretty cool. Red only seems to look good with everything, so if you want to go with red, red's just a good Call of Duty color, I guess, in general. I've noticed like red looks good with anything Call of Duty. I don't know why. It's just like if you're doing something related to Call of Duty, if you throw red in there, it looks pretty good. Just a thing that I've noticed. But then I'm gonna create a new layer, and if you don't have many brushes or you're not a frequent Photoshop user, you can freely skip this step, but this is just some added effects. So I'm just gonna scroll through my palette of brushes here, and I'm gonna look for like a digital number looking thing, which I have a stock like this in my pack, but I'm not gonna go make you buy my like $10 pack for a simple brush or a simple stock. You can probably Google and find something similar. So if you Google like code stock or something like that, matrix code thing, you can find something similar if you really want to include this effect in your thumbnail. Or if this gets 100 likes, I'll post the PSD to this and you can just get it out of there. So if I could find it, I have like a million like repeats. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna go to white and just click throughout my color. I'll just zoom out a little bit. Control minus to zoom out if you didn't know that. And select all of these. And I'm going to go to overlay. And I'm going to go to my eraser tool and make this a little smaller. And I'm just going to erase the like outer part. Like that. There we go. And I'm actually going to decrease this opacity a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to go again, create a new layer. And this step is not really necessary. I just kind of did it because it looked cool. And I actually don't even know where this brush is off the top of my head. But I'll just pick a random one. We'll go with this one. I kind of just added cool paint splatters. So like there and there. And then I did overlay. And I'll just take a little bit off. Just because if you do that in like red, it kind of looks like blood splatters, I guess. But I kind of just liked it in white. And yeah, so that's basically the thumbnail. It's pretty simple. If you really want to include the background image, so like all this stuff is gone, and if you want to really include this, you can have like this stuff all off to the side. So if I were to just select all this minus that stuff, I could just put that off in this corner, and I ended up selecting it anyway. Oh crap, I had the group selected. But you know, like I could do something like that and have this off to the side and all that stuff, and include whatever's going on here. And you could do that anyway, and just like put, I know people like to put their faces in thumbnails, so you could put like your face right there. But this is the main concept. This is the cool looking idea. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it wasn't too crazy, stupid, out there, hard to follow along. I think it was pretty cool. Hopefully you learned some things. Hopefully you can be rocking some cool Advanced Warfare thumbnails now. But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out my store if you guys are interested in anything graphics wise. Be sure to contact me if you're interested in purchasing anything. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Google+, even though I don't use it, and make sure you subscribe, and peace.